Hello everyone, welcome back to another session on Big Data Learning. And this is the third video in the interview question series. So you can just check out the first two. You might want to check out the first two videos before, if you haven't seen them, you might want to check those and then come back to this. So the agenda is simple. We are going to, go through different interview questions, most commonly asked interview questions, right? So coming to myself, I am Abidunisa Begum. I'm a technical trainer. I give trainings on Azure, Tableau, AWS, and also I am a soft skills trainer. That's all about me. Let's move towards today's session. But before that, there's one thing I would like to discuss. See, you won't be able to predict every question that you will be asked in an interview. There are a few common questions you can plan and answer for. You might also consider, developing an elevator pitch that quickly describes who you are, what you do, and what you want, and all. Right. So it's not just that they would be directly starting with, the technical questions or the technical rounds and all. You must be prepared for all the other types of questions as well. Now, there are some jobs that may involve a test or evaluation during the interview process. So I'm talking about interview in general, not just the technical interviews and all. So there is a process and that involves some of them involves tests. For example, if you are interviewing for a computer programming, development, or analytics role, you might also be asked to write or evaluate lines of codes. Okay, it might be helpful for you to consult with colleagues in the industry, for examples of tests they have been given to prepare. That's one way to prepare for the interview. Now, you should also prepare to discuss your salary expectation just in case. So, and if you're unsure about what salary is appropriate, then you might want to do your research on that as well. And the second thing is practice your speaking, voice, and body language. So it's very important to make a positive and lasting impression during the interview process. You can do this by practicing a confident, strong speaking voice and friendly and also open body language, right? But also pay special attention to your smile, handshake, and stride. That also gives a impression on the interviewer. Now, also, you might also want to attend some mock interviews and all before going ahead, right? So that was about interviews in general. Now, these are some the questions that we are talking about in Azure. Coming back to Azure, so these are some commonly asked questions, and today's questions are very simple. So I might just read these out to you. These try to explain you some of them. But if you are unable to understand a particular terminology, or any particular sentence, you can just let me know in the comment section below so that I can explain you or make another video explaining those terminologies. Right? So our first question here is, what is Windows Azure Compute Emulator? Now, Emulator, it's a local emulator of Windows Azure. With this, you can build and test your application before you want to deploy it to Windows Azure. Okay. Now, next, what is a Fabric? So, Fabric as in Cloud Fabric or Windows Azure Cloud Fabric. So it's nothing but a combination of many virtualized instances which run the client application. Right? Simple, isn't it? But these also play a very important role. So you should have a good understanding of them too. Now coming to the next question, how many instances of a role should be deployed to satisfy Azure SLA? What is SLA? Service Level Agreement. And what's the benefit of that Azure SLA? Now, to the answer to the first question, that is how many instances of a role should be deployed to satisfy Azure SLA, is 2. And what is the benefit? If we do so, the role would be external connectivity at least 99.95% of the time, right? Now, what are we shall also see in our further videos when I am starting the course on Azure. I'll be posting a lot of videos on these. So Azure SLA would also be one of the topics that we will be going through. The next, what are the options to manage session state in Windows Azure? What are the options? These three: Windows Azure Caching, SQL Azure, Azure Table, right? Next, what is a CSPack? It's a command line tool. It generates a service package file and it also prepares application for deployment. Where does it deploy? Either to Windows Azure or to the compute emulator, right? The next one is what is CS run? It's a command line tool. It deploys a package application to Windows Azure, compute emulator, and manages the running service, right? So as the name itself suggests, CS run. So this is what it does. Now, how to programmatically scale out Azure Worker Role instance? How can you do that? The answer is again simple, using auto scaling application block. Next, what is the difference between public cloud and private cloud? Public cloud is used as a service via the internet by the users, whereas the private cloud, as the name conveys, it deploys within certain boundaries like firewall settings and is completely managed and monitored by users working in an organization. Now, why is there a difference? Because see, if you are a student or if you are a teacher, or somebody who do not really require, or I can say somebody who's not from a private firm, they might want to use this public cloud. But if you work in a private firm or if yours is a private firm, then keeping your data private is the utmost priority, right? So that is why, as the name suggests, this is the public cloud and the other is the private cloud. Now, what is the guest OS? It's the operating system that runs on the virtual machine that hosts an instance of the role. How to design applications to handle connection failure in Windows Azure. Okay, so this is one of your very important questions. Make a note of it. The transient fault handling application block supports various standard ways of generating the retry delay time interval. It's including fixed intervals, increment intervals, and exponential backoff. In increment interval, the interval increases by a standard amount, while in exponential backoff, the interval doubles with some random variation. Right? So that's about it for today. And I really hope you are finding these sessions helpful, these videos. Do let me know what you think about it. Thank you very much for staying with me throughout the video. And I'm hoping to look forward to any suggestions or feedback from all of you. Thank you very much. Goodbye till the next session and happy learning.